everybody, and welcome back to Roll with Advantage. Very excited to be here for the next session of the Crimson Court. So let's go ahead and dive in. These acolytes, these cultists, rush out of the woods, 4 of them, flanked by 2 ambush drakes, these large Komodo dragon-like creatures, but there's no denying it. Between the scales, the 4 legs, the large imposing maws, the sharp double-rowed teeth, these are dragons of some kind. Wingless, but they are dragons. And thanks to Edwin and Kaylin seeing them before they were able to get the jump on you, there is not a surprise round. But what I would like for everyone to do is roll for initiative.
Woo!
Woo!
First initiative of the campaign.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
That's the end of his turn. Merrick, it is your turn.
Okay, so he had his gun prepared to shoot, but seeing them approaching, he kind of switches it to holding it two-handed, preparing it more for melee combat.
Mm-hmm.
And since this guy's right on top of him, Merrick's going to use Favored Enemy to cast Hunter's Mark without using a spell slot onto the guy that just tried to attack him. So he will mark him for that as a bonus action, and then he will attempt to stab him with the blade at the end of his rifle.
All right. With 15 points of damage, Merrick, tell me, Merrick, in this moment, thinking about what he's gone through, has Merrick ever taken a life before?
Merrick has never killed before, no.
All right. Merrick, as he's running towards you, he brings the cudgel down, you dodge out of the way, and you see an opening.
I think it's almost kind of just reactionary of striking back out, to where when this cudgel kind of swings down at him, he uses the rifle to kind of bash it away, and in the same instance, almost using it like a spear, he just jabs it straight into the chest of the guy, right through the heart. Because of his Hunter's Mark, he kind of knows where to stab for more lethal damage.
Yeah.
And after just stabbing it as deep as it can go, he would just rip it back out and just watch him fall.
Yeah.
And just linger for a moment.
As you do, you stab it into him. I mean, it is not heroic. You stab them in the chest, they let out this gurgle of blood as they just... and they just fall limp to the ground. You pull back, the gun freeze for just a moment, as this does not feel like the stories you were told about great heroes fighting evil. Via, it is your turn.
Yeah, Via's just screaming. But I think maybe in this moment she would uses her air genasi feature, and she's gonna cast Levitate on the Komodo dragon thing.
So that is gonna be an 11, so that will be a failure. It will begin to levitate. Xanthi, it is now your turn.
And is going to move up to this little guy up here that was attacking Via.
Okay.
And is just going to basically just swing her trident, passing it behind her back, and take a little stab.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gemma, no.
Prophecy.
I knew.
Some things never
I
change.
knew as soon as you.
Wait.
So I do nothing. Woo!
That was such a epic line.
You looked
too.
really cool, though.
You looked awesome.
We then come to Rainier. On Rainier's turn, you hear 3 more decisive crack, crack, crack. And you hear his voice bellow out, "Don't worry, kids, I'm coming." And he starts bounding up these stairs and is just able to get here with 30 feet of movement. As you can see him, looking pretty rough. Let me go ahead and modify his HP there. So he is bloodied. You can see part of his scales cracked and broken. And with that, the galloping of the horses is getting closer and closer and closer as he's finally able to be seen in the encounter now. Acolyte only has one way out here. Merrick is going to cast Sacred Flame at you. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
14.
14 is a success.
Yeah. You can always surrender.
Yep, he's going to use his bonus action to drink a potion. He's going to
Oh,
reach into
what
a
a
bag,
kid.
pull it out, and he's going to...
No!
Oh.
As you see his throat just begin to foam with this dark green liquid as he just grips at his throat and then falls back onto the ground. You can see Rainier looking... The acolytes are not his concern right now. You see he looks down towards the drake, the corpse of it, right at his feet, and the one right next to it. And you can see he kneels and he stares at those creatures for quite some time.
Yeah, Edwin, after he kind of patches himself up, goes, "Who were they? Rainier, do you know? Or were they fancy bandits?"
I don't know, Edwin. I've been serving as Sentinel for a little more than a decade now, and I haven't seen anything like this before. I mean, dragons have not been seen in Adaria for almost 800 years. Not since your namesake, Merrick.
Pointing towards you, Eric.
Since your namesake exterminated the last of them after the fall of the Dragon's Triarchy. This changes everything.
Merrick's obviously still kind of taking care of Via, but has anyone pulled the masks off of these guys yet?
Not yet, no.
I mean, yeah, I think he would just reach down, still staying near Via, but yeah, he'll reach down and he'll pull one of the masks off.
Yeah. So you pull one of the masks off, and you see a man, maybe in his 30s, half elf, pointed ears, very, very slight point, sort of rounded off to them. Nothing notable, though, at least on initial inspection. If you'd like to dig deeper, I'll go ahead and have you make an investigation check. On this individual, on their bicep, you see a brand. 3 chain links, all linked together. So one three-piece chain. And then coming off of each chain is 2 lines, for a total of 6 lines and 3 chains. You can see a similar brand on the drake as well.
It seems as though they were traveling from somewhere with some type of purpose. They didn't have any messages, any notes. There was nothing in there aside from supplies and the camping materials. Now, it hasn't rained or snowed, or the weather hasn't been too intense these past few days. I know it was my instruction from the king to accompany all of you to Rosemont, but this takes my attention now. All of you should proceed to Rosemont with what your duty is, but I will be pursuing these tracks, seeing if I can find
You're
anything.
not coming with us?
No. This is my job. It's what I'm supposed to do. Seeing the numbers they had here, I think it would also be best if I take half of the detachment of Adarian Watch with me, just in case I run into larger numbers. That way I actually have a fighting chance. I need to take those guards with me just in case something happens. Last thing I want to do is be neck deep in cultists and God knows what, and be alone. We have to leave tonight.
And he looks to another guard.
Head back to camp, let them know that half of them that stayed are going with me. In the meantime, Captain Vela, she'll watch over the rest of you. If you have any questions, I trust her. I picked her especially for this meeting in case something like this happened. I believe in you. You don't need me hovering over your shoulder giving you advice every which way. You're smart. Together you can do it. All right?
Merrick will walk over and put a hand on Rainier's shoulder until we see you next. And he'll say that same word in Orcish, and he'll cast Cure Wounds on Rainier to give him just a little boost before he leaves.
He'll sort of clap your hand on his shoulder and say,
Thank you. Until we see
I
each
know-
other again.
I know you will, but please be safe, Uncle.
I will exercise every amount of caution I can. I've been doing this for a while.
I know.
All right. Good luck, kids. I'm excited to hear about your success.
Yours too.
And he'll sort of nod. And he will give each one of you anywhere between a firm handshake and a hug, depending on your sort of comfort level with that in particular. He'll mount up with one of the horses. They begin to make their way out of camp. Does anybody have anything else that they do before heading to bed?
I think I might.
Okay.
So Via back in her tent is gonna be like talking to Fiddle, and she's gonna be like, "It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea, but I think I." What do you think? Because I haven't done anything like that since that night. But maybe if I can find out who's gonna be heir, we can all just go home.
See the ears shoot up?
You think it's a good idea? Okay. I'm scared, but I think I should try. Yeah, she's gonna pick up Fiddle, and then she's gonna quietly go over to Xanthi's tent. Please be awake, Xanthi!
She's gonna open the flap, very confused.
Hey, could I ask a favor? Your dagger that you got in our choosing ceremony, could I borrow that for like 30 minutes?
What exactly do you plan to do with it?
Look
You know
at
I
it.
will not give it to you if you lie.
I just wanted to see if I could see anything in your future with it.
It takes a moment, just kind of like considering it.
I don't know if it'll even work. There's a lot of unknowns we're running into, and I would like to know if there's anything tangible, you know?
You can have it for a moment.
I'll bring it back, I promise. Okay, I'll be right back. And she'll scurry back to her tent. And she'll set Fiddle down, and in her tent, she'll like get out some of her crystals and things, kind of just set a space that kind of helps her get into a area that she can kind of like try and commune with the dagger. She's going to just kind of like sitting there, close her eyes, put her hands on the dagger and say, please show me if Xanthi is heir. I want to go home. Anything. I want to go home. If she doesn't hear anything, she will like open her eyes, kind of touch her face. Okay, that's fine. Maybe a
Via.
little longer.
In that moment, as soon as you like let go, I need everybody except for Felicity to deafen.
I don't.
Via, what you see in front of you. So you have this moment where you focus on the stones, on the dagger, you speak those words, is Xanthi heir? You exhale and you feel something overtake you. Your back arches as you, like your mouth opens and wind just gushes out and swirls around you. And your eyes begin to glow this very, very, very dull white. The stones all around you begin to levitate, and you just through this like hazy mist of nothingness, you begin to see these flashes of images. And you see the tree, the crimson bloom, the one you had your choosing ceremony at, and you see a body hanging from it. It seems to be an older man. With a beard and long braided hair. In the moment, the vision fades and one final one comes into focus. The dragon bone throne. Nidarion's skull. The large ancient red dragon being the central focal point of it, hovering over the throne. And you see an individual with horns sitting on it. but a pool of crimson fills the throne room until eventually that horned figure is drowning in the crimson that fills the throne room. You feel that wind suck back into your lungs as you cough from the extensive exhale, and everybody unmute, undeafen. So via the wind sucked back into your lungs, you heave over for a moment, coughing in a fit.
I don't think this helped. I think it just made things worse. Like I knew it would. Also, did she have any physical reaction as well from seeing the vision?
Yeah. As you were sort of talking to Fiddle, you could feel just a little bit of almost like a tear at first is what you thought it was, but too warm, as there's this small pool of blood just sort of dripping from the corner of your eye down your cheek and chin.
She'll take the dagger and hastily walk back to Xanthi's tent, and she'll say, "Xanthi, here, you can have it back."
She is going to once again open the flap, but immediately is going to, where you're kind of like holding out the dagger, she's going to grab for your forearm instead and pull you inside the tent. She's immediately going to like grab your other shoulder to kind of like stabilize you. And I take it you saw something.
Nothing that I was trying to see, I think.
But something nonetheless.
It was mostly just omens, warnings and things. That's what it's a dagger. What do you expect? It's.
Octavia. Please sit down. I want to know what you saw.
She's just gonna hold onto the hat and cry a little bit more. I was just hoping that if it could tell me that you would be heir, then we could all go home. Can I go back to my tent now?
Yeah, she'll take like a deep breath out. Kind of just hold your arm for a second. It is late. We're going to be continuing and hopefully doing it well rested. That means sleeping now, I guess. But I would like you to tell me at some point, especially when it has apparently affected you so.
She'll just kind of nod her head.
Good night, Octavia.
Good night. And she'll scurry out of the tent.
Xanthi, you're left alone in that moment, pondering what on earth she could have seen. What possibly could have been so bad that stirred her so much. And with that, I need everyone except Gemma to deafen.
Oh my gosh. Double
Crazy,
win?
crazy, crazy.
And it's me?
Xanthi, you sit in your room by yourself, your tent by yourself, thinking about what it could have been, like I said. And this is just such a short, brief moment. But you hear this wind, this breeze, this coldness flow into the room. You, in this moment, take a hand mirror just to make sure that everything is where it should be, that there are no stray hairs, but you see the mirror begin to crust with ice, chilling cold. And you hear a voice that echoes on that wind.
Two have been claimed. Very interesting.
With that, Xanthi, the cold leaves the room, the mirror uncrusts with ice. And the sounds of the campfire outside of the tent can be heard. Everybody can go ahead and undeafen. Eventually, Xanthi, you are able to fall asleep. Same as the rest of the children after a night that has rattled all of you for various reasons. You head to sleep. As the cart crests the sort of final hill leading out of the Crownlands into the Lowlands, the humble village of Rosemont comes into view. The gardens are overflowing with these bursts of crimson, gold, and violet. You all arrive in the humble village of Rosemont. But as all of you are starting to get out, stretching a little bit, looking for the next thing to do, there is an individual that approaches. A small-statured halfling with this sort of curly, chestnut-colored hair and a very round, kind face. They approach wearing a very well-tailored tweed jacket over a neat linen shirt. This, countryside aristocrat, Mayor Brendan Goodbrook. They approach and say, "My princes and princesses, welcome. My name is Mayor Goodbrook, though most of the folks around here just call me Brendan. We can't tell you how grateful we are to see members of the King's Hand again. We've heard stories, of course, how the King's Hand once kept peace over all of the Daria. And, well, with all that's happening, your arrival gives us a fair modicum of hope. But being mayor of Rosemont, it does seem to be my duty to just give you a bit of a heads up for things you may or may not be anticipating. There is one concern. While all of Rosemont is at your disposal for anything you need, down that way, just past the orchards, there's a small keep that sits in that direction. It's been held up by bandits, and we do our best to steer clear. But if I could give you any piece of advice about Rosemont, aside from enjoying the lovely hospitality we have to offer, it would be to avoid said keep. Wouldn't want to spoil your visit by any trouble. And anything you need, anything at all, just let me know to settle this scuffle between Melonith and Rivermore. And we'll be happy to give whatever offer, whatever guidance, whatever help we can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of
We
course.
greatly appreciate the welcome. If you don't mind, as we are here currently, is there any information at all that you can give us of the two houses and what started all of this, and just any information you have at all?
Now, as I heard it go, there were two farm boys. Couldn't be more than 16, 17 years old. They got into an argument. One viewed themselves as a proud banner bearer should they ever be called to arms of House Melonith, the other of House Rivermore. And, well, one thing led to another, and word spread from here to their holds, and, well, that's when the fighting got involved. And sadly, the two boys were brothers also, and they ended up being both killed during the skirmishes that broke out. Their father, he spends most of his times at the tavern since it happened.
Since the first skirmish, is there any word on escalating violence, or are you concerned something like that's going to happen again?
I'm not too entirely concerned right now. If the issue isn't addressed, I'm sure it would happen again, but as I heard it said by some of the banner bearers, and as I've heard, the fighting's been called off. But the way they get to fighting some days in there, I don't know how long their lord's word is gonna last.
As the mayor, who exactly do you find yourself accountable to in terms of the two lords?
Well, my princess, I hope you don't find it too much of a cop-out answer. My first loyalty is to the king, to King Talon, as he's the one who assigned my post. My loyalty is to him. Whatever he says goes. And between Melonith and Rivermore, I'd never spoken to or even met the lord and lady of that land until, well, just a couple days ago. I've got no leaning towards them one way or the other.
And the keep that you say is now run by bandits.
Mhm.
You've never been able to reach or access anything inside there, I take it?
Oh, gods, no. No, wouldn't dream of it, wouldn't dare of it. There's a bit of not a deal, not an understanding. I don't know. They don't attack Rosemont as long as we leave them alone in the keep, if you follow.
And you believe it is appropriate as mayor of this town to be leaving a bandit hold remaining untouched with some kind of agreement under the king's peace?
No, sorry, Princess. Allow me to take a step back. I've sent many requests to the crown. I've sent many requests to the lords of the various lands about dealing with the bandits, but no one has answered. No one has brought any soldiers here until right now. I mean, we have a small militia, but it's just farmers with pitchforks, gambesons, and a willingness to protect their home. They're not willing to march off to war.
And we appreciate you not escalating. He looks towards Xanthi, escalating things and creating the appropriate scenario for your people is to not escalate this further with the bandits in the keep.
Well then, please follow me.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Princess. And turn around and begin to make his way, leading all of you to the Goodbrook estate. So all of you are able to make your way in. You're able to drop off your supplies at a collection of rooms.
Well, where to, everyone? Edwin will say, well, Via, you said you are hungry. Do you want to go get some lunch? Anyone else want to join?
All
Fine.
right, I guess it's you and me. To the Rose Petal Inn, baby.
Kaylin will tag along.
Okay, yay, come along.
I like that Kaylin didn't say yes and is just walking
She's just
behind
coming anyway.
us.
Yeah.
So the three of you, Edwin, Via, and Kaylin, head towards the Rose Petal Inn. Now, as you enter the Rose Petal Inn, it is a very warm, very homely inn, and there's this scent of baked bread and spiced cider that is just so strongly present as you enter.
But as we walk in, were we given the description of the dad?
Yeah, he's always at the bar.
Okay, Jazz. Kaylin is going to druidcraft a lily in her hand, and she's gonna try to find the dad.
There is one man at the very corner of the bar who is just sort of like hunched over, and he has a drink that he's just holding in his hand, and every once in a while he kind of brings it up to his mouth and like tilts his head back a little bit just to like get a sip and sets it back down.
Yeah. Kaylin's going to walk next to him, and without sitting down, she's just gonna place the flower in front of him and put a gentle hand on his shoulder, and she's gonna say, "The great serpent weeps for you, but its tears nourishes the ground for new growth. Please accept my condolences on behalf of the throne, and if there's anything that we can do, don't hesitate to ask."
She looks up.
Serpent, yeah. Thank you.
And he sort of reaches up and kind of like misses it on the first go, and then grabs the flower on the second go, and will kind of hold it and set it down in the bar next to him, and go back and.
She won't linger for too long. She'll just give him another gentle touch and go back to her siblings.
That was nice of you, Kaylin.
Oh man.
Thank you. Sometimes all it takes is a nice smile, a gentle touch to know that others are listening and they care.
I
Joe, does it seem like anybody is looking at us or sad
Yes.
dad?
Actually, there
Probably
are a few people that are still left in the tavern that are looking at all of you and trying not to, but not doing a very good job. There is one individual that has been kind of like sitting off to the side. They've been sort of scoping out the tavern. And Kaylin, you actually see them start to approach your table. This is a man who seems to not, he's not from around here. That much you are very, very confident on. In fact, you're pretty confident that he's not even from Adaria. You see he wears very, very, very fine silks. And you can see that his hair is dyed in different places, this bright yellow and dark blue. Seeing all of you here, he approaches. And he sees you look, Kaylin, and he'll stop and he'll say,
Excuse me, might I approach?
You may. Please have a seat. Join us.
You do me a great kindness, my lady. I do not want to interrupt.
Please, sit.
Yeah. Plenty of space.
Well, my young lady, looking to you, Via. You wear your hair in the style of my homeland.
You're from
Alicia, yes.
out east.
Mm-hmm.
and he'll take a seat and he'll kind of like cross his leg, like one knee over the other, and sort of steeple his hands and look to all of you and smile and say,
My name is Lysandros Valanthis. It is a great pleasure to meet all of you.
Sandros, what brings you here?
The petals, the flowers, they are great for the dyeing of silks. I am a silk merchant myself, and nowhere else have I found in this great world to create such vibrant, beautiful colors than here in this humble village. I make a sort of pilgrimage once a year to collect all the petals I need. Very good, my princess. And my prince and my lady, I have bothered you long enough.
Yeah, Edwin's going to say, so once you have the petals, we would be more than happy to look over your finer silks, potentially purchase what you think we would enjoy.
Well, delightful. I am very flattered at the invitation. As soon as I have everything prepared, I will return to... what city within Adaria would be best?
Crown's Rest.
Crown's Rest? Ah, the capital, yes. Very good. Well, I will return there when I have my goods prepared, and I look forward to seeing all of you again.
and he will give a very low bow and come back up, hold in very composed, almost ballet-like, and will turn and leave. All right. So as those letters are sent out, Merrick, you can see that Xanthi and Kaylin just haven't gotten back maybe 20 minutes ago. They're both free.
Yeah, I think he would just take them aside, or just like make sure Edwin and V are busy doing something. He very much wants this to be a private conversation.
Ooh, actually, the way that you can get Edwin and Via away, Edwin is going to suggest that him and Via should go on a picnic like they normally do when he comes back, and they haven't done that yet. So they can just.
Didn't you just eat?
Ate.
It doesn't. Picnics don't have to be you
for
eat.
vibes.
Yeah,
There
they're
you go.
vibes. We'll be drinking wine and shit. All right.
Yeah.
Little cheese
But that's
board.
we could just say that's where
Yeah.
they are.
Via can drink
Picnic.
wine, but she can't curse.
I mean, she
Yeah.
can. She's of age. She just chooses not to.
Okay. I see. Yeah, have fun. But yeah, as it's just the three of them, and we're just kind of like waiting on things, Merrick's going to glance over to Kaylin. Do you have an interest in the throne, Kaylin?
Of course I do.
Fair enough. Well, since the three of us are here, we might as well talk about it, I suppose. I would just ask that none of us pull Via and Edwin into this more than they need to be.
I must admit, I'm sorry. What exactly do you think this is, though?
We all know what this is. It's a test.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you a question then, Merrick. Why do you want the throne?
Not fighting for it's not an option for me.
That's not an answer.
It's the truth.
Because of your mother, isn't it? She making you.
Once she hears about Father's plan, she certainly
And
will,
you can
yes.
refuse her for once in your life, I'm sure.
Like I said, Father's not going to put me on the throne. Putting me on the throne is as good as putting her on it. He'll never allow that.
Xanthe, it's no secret.
It's no secret that that throne is mine by birthright. It's no secret that I have made sure that I am able to uphold it.
Right.
It's no secret that whatever it is that Father is planning, it is. I don't know what it is. But if this kingdom is to maintain any sense of stability, if it is going to maintain any sense of peace, it cannot have constant debate over who will lead it. I do not know why Father has initiated any of this, nor why the Council has agreed to it. I worry that it is more the Council's decision than it is our Father's. That if any of you care for this kingdom in the slightest, we do what is right.
What, and just hand it over to you?
It's not a matter of being handed, Kaylin. It is something inherited.
You want to know why I want the throne, Xanthe?
No, I don't care, but I'm sure you'll kill me anyways.
Oh, I absolutely will. Because I actually want to make a difference. Because I actually see the people on the streets, Xanthe. Do you even know what's going on in the Undercity? Do you know what's going on outside of your pretty walls that you surround yourself with every day? Did you know the only reason why we have a kingdom is because my people, the Zarakai people, sacrificed themselves to join everything else that was going on around without any thanks except an exile from the kingdom? You wanna know why I want the throne? Because I want to make a difference. And all those people who go without, who look to us, someone needs to see them, Xanthe, not look down on them.
Don't forget, I had worked years with the Guard, ensuring that their lives are less miserable than they are. You can think whatever you wish to of me, but do not forget that fact.
I am here because Talon asked me to be, but I will not beg or bow just because you told me to. But I'm not going to just give up what is also mine.
You're a bastard, Kaylin. It is hardly yours.
I've been here for longer than you know. It is just as mine as it is yours.
You definitely tell, from what you were, last saying, Xanthe's tail was, giving, a notable, annoyed, little twitch. But she will get up from over there. I believe this is an awfully unpleasant conversation, and we have more important things to focus on. So I suggest we each focus on it. And then she'll just take her leave.
Xanthe, you walk out, leaving Kaylin and Merrick.
There's your queen. And Kaylin's gonna scoop up Samson, and she's gonna walk out.
Don't manipulate them, Kaylin.
He turns and looks at you. And she's grinding her teeth. And she looks so incredibly hurt. Why? Because I'm a witch?
No. Because when you manipulated me, it felt awful.
Yeah. I'm sure it did.
Xanthe and Kaylin heading off in the two opposite directions, leaving you, Merrick, there alone. Not feeling any better than what you did when you started this conversation. And from there, we are going to do just a small cut outside within the wooded area right outside of the Goodbrook estate to a small flannel blanket, as well as a view of the rivers that sort of cut through Rosemont. As Edwin and Via.
What do you think they're talking about? Yeah, never mind. I shouldn't have asked the question.
So you definitely don't want the throne?
No. I mean, at a certain point, I did.
Really?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, I was unfortunately born before our father took the crown. So, in turn, does make me hate the word bastard. But growing up, everyone looked to me. I was the firstborn. I am the firstborn. Everyone just thought I would take the crown. Xanthi was born, and, well, that has been out of my mind for a very long time. There was years there where I struggled. It's part of the reason I joined the Church of the Unbroken and started the missions.
I feel like, our claims are interesting, right? You're the firstborn. My mom's still queen, so like we have like, if we, really want to, we could try. I have an idea. Okay, hear me out. We changed our mind. We'll just say, hey, maybe we want the throne too. So then they think everybody wants it, when in reality, we don't. And it helps keep them in check, So instead of it being like a small infighting group, you and me, we have our little pact. We know that we don't want it, but they don't that anymore.
I love this plan. You're very intelligent. You're probably the smartest out of all of us. So don't sell yourself short.
Xanthi's read a lot too.
You have a lot of qualities that none of us do. You're eager to learn. You're younger than all of us. You're a growing mind. You can listen to people. You don't have certain ways set in stone that you have grown up and can never get rid of them. I think you would be a great choice for the throne.
I think you would be. We are viable too, And like, let's just tell them, because then like, oh my gosh, it's gonna drive them crazy. Anyway, I think we should try. But like, not try. Like, just try enough so that our siblings become their best selves.
So as the two of you continue your small picnic, eventually it wraps up and you head back inside. And after some time apart, Kaylin and Xanthi, you reconvene in that central foyer with the rest of your siblings.
I think we need a different approach with the bandits. I don't think we can. Well, I just don't think we can brute force it. I don't know if I have a better suggestion, but they're not gonna just turn over and say, okay, arrest me. Thank you for finally coming to get me. My sentence will be smaller. Like,
It's a matter of changing what they want, Thea. They won't hand themselves over willingly, no, but they may prefer to be sentenced than to have to fight. To risk.
not if we only
getting
have
injured.
16 people. We don't have an army. What if I sent, Fiddle? Fiddle could take a lot of different shapes as my familiar. What if I sent Fiddle around just to go see what's going on with the bandits, and we can put this plan as a maybe and see how many bandits we're working with and what they're capable of before we just walk up with 16 people and say, hey, get out of there.
Figure out where their defenses are, where we could potentially infiltrate them for better results.
How close do you need to be to Fiddle?
In 100 feet.
Well, that looks like what we're doing.
We could go tonight.
I think we should.
So we can be ready by the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great, Via.
And I have news.
Go on.
Edwin looks at Via just like wide eyes.
Edwin and I were talking, and we want to see if we want to try and beat the heirs too.
No.
Well, oops.
Mayor, would you mind giving us the room?
Of course, my princess. Farewell. Bow and turns and
Edwin goes, "Thank you, Mayor."
of course, my prince. And the tiny halfling legs move so quickly.
Yes, Xanthi.
I don't know what has gotten into everyone, but none of this is helping. Octavia, I do not know what has gotten into you. I know that you are prone to certain whims, but I do not think that any of this should be some invitation for everyone to start throwing their hat in as if this is some kind of ring that they can enter. Edwin, you're a bastard. Marek, love you dearly, but you know that would be your mother's throne and not yours. Kaelin, you shouldn't even be born. And Via,
Hold on, Xanthi. Xanthi, hold on. You're not going to speak to Kaelin in that way. She's still your sister.
She's not. I don't know who she is.
And let this be clear. Father put all of us in that room. All of us. Not the ones who might be entitled to the throne. He put the bastards and the youngest in that room and told all of us that the one that he chooses will hold the crown. This is not up for debate. This is what Father's decision is. And he put Via and I on that table with all of you. So our hats are in the race. And this is not supposed to be a race. We're supposed to be helping each other and figuring all this out. Yes, I might be a bastard, Xanthi, but you know how much I hate that word.
I do not wish for this family to be torn apart.
Then don't
I do
tear
not
it
know
apart. Stop
I don't know
acting
why
like
Father
this.
has made this decision.
We don't either, Xanthi. That's what I'm trying to say. All of us don't know why he's doing this. But we have to play along with the game. You know that better than all of us. It's a
This
game.
is the reason why any of us is born. Father needed an heir. And so I was born. The council wished for spares, and so Marek and Via. This is not meant to be an attack upon anyone. It is the truth. It is the way the world is.
Xanthi, I really would like you to stop minimizing our births, because if we're going to do tit for tat, I'm the only one that is the child of both the king and queen. So, I'm excited to learn from you all. I don't know who the heir will be, but I think we all have a lot to learn from each other.
While we're having this conversation, she doesn't listen to anyone but herself. We should focus on what is in front of us, is helping these people. That's what we came here to do, right?
Yes, it is, Kaelin. And
Great.
we should all remember that no matter what, by blood, we are all related. We are all of the same kin.
Oh, no. I want nothing to do with her. But I will help all of us solve this problem. Kaelin walks out.
Okay, so one by one, all of you head out. You gather everything together. You travel out with 4 of the Adarian watch with you. You travel into the woods. Takes a half day to get there. 500 feet away from where the keep should be. You tie off the horses, dismount, travel by foot. You can see Captain Vela. She looks to the 4 Adarian watch. They post up all in different directions, and they just begin scanning. These are not constructs. They are not robots, but they are mechanical right now. The rifles are out, the lever action, and they are just scanning methodically in every single direction as Vela is doing her best to watch every single direction in case one of the other 4 guards miss something. The 5 of you sit there, ready to execute your plan.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so she'll set Fiddle on the ground, and then she can communicate telepathically.
So the small rat scurries away and begins to head towards Sherwin. Eventually, after that, 80 feet, within 20 feet, the walls of the keep become very clear. Sherwin Keep is relatively small, but there are quite a few bandits here that are posted up, watching the walls, watching over them. All of them have torches. They're very vigilant right now. So Fiddle makes their way into the keep interior. More bandits in smaller rooms. Seems to be a lot of these are holding cells for prisoners for the keep. In this main corner room back here, not only are there a couple of bandits, but there seems to be their leader that is here, a tiefling man. actually, of this sort of like deep blue tone of skin, older, grizzled face. And you can see they wear this sort of like fur mantle over their shoulders that has these arcane runes kind of inscribed into the fur. You see, as the conversation the captain is having with the two individuals in the room with them, he's saying,
All right. Now, you two, listen up, okay? I know things didn't exactly go as planned in Crown's Rest. We got away with what we did, okay? Things are going to work out just fine. This keep, this will be our base. None of the Greycoats can get us here, all right? We're far enough away. And who's this right here?
Via, he looks down towards the rat, towards Fiddle.
Yeah, she's gonna break the connection, the eyesight connection at least, and then telepathically just tell Fiddle to leave when Fiddle can. So, and then Via will tell everybody, okay, he spotted Fiddle. Fiddle will probably die, and I'll summon him back in the morning. Let's go.
So
in that
they
pocket.
dissipate. As they're dissipating, you can see this hand of that captain raise and slap at the air with a sort of gauntleted hand, and there's this burst of energy towards Fiddle as Fiddle disappears before the spell can make contact. And just this last thing you hear as it's slowly fading out is,
He's looking for something. I think we have guests. Rather close.
Oh, we gotta go, guys. They know that someone's around. Let's leave now.
and with that, as all of you prepare to get up and run away, you hear off from one of the guards facing towards the keep,
I see torches. We need to go.
as there seems to be bandits in pursuit. And as all of you get up, ready to run back to the horses, you have about 400 feet of running before you get back to the horses and you can get back to safety. And on that note, that is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Quite the thing to return to next week. So be sure to tune in next week for the Crimson Court. Very excited for session 3 as we have an escape and then we maybe have a siege. Starting it off a little cuckoo bananas for these first few combat encounters. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should subscribe on YouTube. And you should join the membership also, if you feel as though we've earned it. So thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.